Gustavo says, from BlackBerry, what is BG? It says baby girl. It says, well, what did you write? You hungry, Pop Pop? So it's kind of showing that these were like really loving terms, and it was a loving environment. And says, Estavo says, and Mr. Combs wrote to you, we're so in love we don't do anything else. How long has y'all been seeing each other? She said like 2.5 years. Estavo then says, please read this. This is 1364. Ventura says, I haven't talked to you at all. You don't even try. You rushed me off the phone. I'm really hurt. I don't need your money. I need some attention. Estavo says, you want to spend special time with Mr. Combs. Now, I think this is going to be important right here. It seems that 2.5 years into the relationship was starting to also change. She was desperate to, not only you're going to hear her talk about wanting to have kids with him, she was desperate to try to get more of his time. So I think this might lead into the Freakoffs and say, hey, listen, didn't you, out of your own sound mind and you wanting to do something extra? Because remember, she also admitted on the stand, right? So this is why I think they're piggybacking off of that. She admitted on the stand, on direct, she said, I did the Freakoffs with him because I felt I had to. I felt if I didn't do it, he would do it with another girl. What they're also driving home here is that she was so desperate for attention, she probably would have done things that she may later say she didn't want to do. But did she do it because he forced her to do it? No. She did it because she wanted more access to him. She wanted to have some one-on-one time with him. By the way, she also testified on direct that she would get to have one-on-one time with him at times after the Freakoffs. So it looked like that was her. It's very clear that Diddy wasn't hanging out with her, just hanging with her. Like when he was hanging with her, he was fucking. Like even if you see videos of them, this was before the fucking or after the fucking, right? It looked like she wanted more of his time. And one way to get more of his time, she knows he's a freaky ass nigga. She's like, I'll get down with whatever the freak shit you're doing that we could spend more time. Because you got to imagine, he's probably saying, Sandra, yo, I got to go, like, I'm about to go do something else. She kind of knows, like, oh, he about to go fuck another bitch. I'm not going to be around. I want to be around him. So the defense is trying to say she put herself in that position or basically volunteered for these things because she sought his attention. He never forced her. I think that's a good defense. I ain't forced you. If put it like this, I don't know. I'm making up something crazy. I know I don't. The only thing I do is drink. Say a chick likes me, right? She really likes me. She wants to spend time with me. I'm a coke addict. I keep having to go A, B, and C to go to these coke sniffing parties. She don't do coke. She realizes she can't spend time with me because I'm always going to chase this high, and I'm a cokehead. She decides because she wants to be with me so much, nah, take me with you. Like, nah, I want to try it. Take me with you. I'm like, all right. I take her with me. We both go do coke. It becomes a thing. She realizes now she could tag along every time I go do coke. She becomes a cokehead. Did I make her a cokehead? Do you get what I'm saying? Did I make her a cokehead? That's going to be an interesting point of concern, I would imagine, for the jurors to determine. Okay, what is this? They're back. Mr. Stavo says, you may proceed. That's what the judge says. Stavo says, Ms. Ventura, this is from Combs to you. You respond with the explicit message, right? She says, yes. This is 2 days after the planning of a Freakoff, right? She says, yes. Okay. So they are back. This is 10:48 a.m. We're going to see where this goes. Somebody said, you think that's a good defense? Well, I think that's what they're carving out. I think they're going to carve out many different defenses, but that seems to be one that's kind of now becoming a little bit clearer. Hey, you put yourself in these positions. He never forced you. Yes, Diddy's a freaky ass nigga. You wanted him so bad, You wanted to engage in these freaky ass behavior because you wanted to be with him. You wanted more time from him. Again, this is going to be very important. Looked like he was either preoccupied by doing the freak-offs without her, right? Look what it says. Look what it says. I haven't talked to you at all. You don't even try. You rush me off the phone. I'm really hurt. I don't need your money. I need some attention. She was desperately clinging on. This is 2.5 years into it. She's desperately clinging on to, I want you. I want to be around you. Well, if you're going to be around Diddy, that means you're going to be in the freak-offs. Because that's what Diddy was trying to do. He was trying to get his rocks off. Diddy's up hundreds of millions of dollars, and all he want to do is nut or feel other men's semen on his nipples. Then it says, you testified, you told him, I love you so much, you make me a better woman. She says, I definitely wrote those messages. Stavo then says, you wrote, I can't wait till we have a baby of our own. You knew we had 6 kids, right? She did. They're kind of painting that picture like, yo, Cassie, you knew what it is, man. Let's see, we got some more. So after she sends him an explicit message, it says extremely explicit. So we don't know what it is. By the way, the objection by the prosecutor was for that message not to get described. So maybe they showed it with the privacy screen to the jury and maybe, whatever, but it's not being described in the gallery or described even on the record, even though I think if it's going to be a picture that's in evidence. By the way, the judges agreed all pornographic images that are in evidence are going to be under seal. They're going to be put under seal. So the only way for you to see them at this time is going to be in court, but they've kind of even barred the people that are not the jurors to see them. I think there's some conversations about certain videos, though, that they want to be played to at least the press. And not necessarily to the press, but they feel everybody should be able to see, not just the jurors and AUSAs and defense. Okay. So Estavo says, how did you reply? Estavo says, he said, I want to see. How did you reply? So I guess she says some freaky shit to him. He says, I want to see. So they're asking, so she initiates some freaky shit. He says, I want to see. He said, how did you reply? Ventura says, I can't wait either. Estavo says, you wrote, I feel like I want to fuck, right? She says, that's what it says. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. That response there, and we've heard her say this twice now. Keep in mind, her responses when it says something about love, she says, I definitely wrote those messages. They start saying things about, so you say you were down for the Freakoff weekend, weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You were down for it anytime. She doesn't say, yeah, I definitely sent that. You know what she says? That's what it says. I think the jury is going to take note of that. This is going against what she has testified yesterday. So even in her demeanor or her words describing or affirming that she said these things, that's what it says. Then they get to hear, you said, I feel I want to fuck, right? That's what it says. Mr. Combs says, I'm so horny I can't concentrate. What do you say? That I'll go to Dwayne Reed for candles, then set up the room. Okay. This is important, chat. This is important. You know what this is saying. You know what this is saying, chat. This is saying that when Diddy expressed to her that he was horny, she would take initiative to go and set up the Freakoff room. I'm going to go to Dwayne Reed for candles. I'm going to set the room up. Damn, this shit sounds like some Dexter shit. You ever watch Dexter? I've been binge watching Dexter over and over again recently. You know, he had a kill room. He would set up the kill room. You got to set up the Freakoff room. Candles, butt plug, Astroglide, baby oil. I wonder if they had like a little scoop for the semen that when, you know what I mean, Diddy needed to moisturize his nipples with it type shit. Estavo says, did you understand that he was going to take another video of you? AUSA says, objection, speculation. Says, Estavo, could you move on, please? Estavo says, did you ever ask? And be like, you ask, any pills on you? So it look like she's asking for drugs. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be seen both ways, chat. It's going to be seen in the way of Cassandra Ventura. She testified already, I needed the drugs to numb myself. But it also could be looked at on a defense perspective of, so you're the one who solicited drugs from Diddy. Diddy didn't force you to take drugs. Because the understanding is that she was so drugged up, she didn't, even her lawyer said it. Didn't we just hear her lawyer said it? That she was so drugged up. Let's go back to what her lawyer said, chat. Wigder, he says she was so drugged up that she couldn't really do nothing. But now Diddy's lawyers is proving, you requested the drugs. Diddy ain't give you the drugs. You asked for them.
Box to what's going on there
in the coming weeks, but she's. I'm not going to give a date, but
that's Cassie's lawyers.
You can see in court, she's very pregnant. She's about to give birth, but she's holding up strong. I mean, having to recount what happened during those 10 years and beyond, and talking about her contemplation of suicide. Really just very powerful.
What do you think really is the part that got to her? It seemed like she really talked about their love. She really started to break down about how he just wasn't giving her what she needed, and she really felt that they were in love.
I think really just she was numb from the drugs that she was taking.
She was numb from the drugs she was taking. That's their disposition. She felt stuck. She was addicted. She was numb from the drugs she was taking. But now Diddy's lawyers are proving, you're asking him to go get the drugs. Yo, you got any pills on you? You're asking him for drugs. Now, again, I'm pretty sure on redirect, the prosecutors are going to flip it to say, didn't you need the drugs? And who first introduced you to the drugs? Remember, she kind of testified about it before, saying, oh, well, Sean had me try. It don't seem like she was doing all of those drugs before. She probably did some drugs. Here we go. Estavio says, what pills were you taking then? She says, opiates. Estavio says, you deleted videos on your device, right? She says, yes. Estavio says, well, what do you write? Cassie says that I need to feel this. This is my husband, the only one who will see this side of me. Now I got to see what the context of this is. I want to see the context of this. We got to wait for the next tweet before I could. If she wrote this in regards to Diddy, you know, she was referring to Diddy. Like, sometimes you've been with a girl and you calling her your baby moms, y'all don't got no kids. She calling you her BD, y'all don't got no kids. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she was calling Diddy her husband, they ain't married. If this message is about him, Diddy, not her current husband, Alex Fine, you know what this means? It directly counteracts what she said yesterday about saying she took the drugs not to feel shit. She's saying, I need to feel this. This is my husband, the only one who will see the side of me. So I don't know if that's what they're trying to say. It looked like it would counteract what she said directly, because she says she took drugs not to feel. looked like she may have told Diddy she wants to feel shit. And apparently some of these drugs, like for example, ones of euphoric nature, like I believe MDMA or Molly or whatever they call it, that allows you to feel a lot of things even more. I hear that she even testified that with Molly, like you could feel everything much more. So if she was trying to numb herself, why the hell would she be asking for the drugs to feel more? You know you done fucked up, right? Yo, the lawyers is coming. They're coming for her right now. Is Molly an opiate or ecstasy? What does opiates do? What is an opiate, bro? Morphine, codeine, well, makes you feel euphoria. Perks, those are opiates? But let me ask you a question though. Wouldn't opiates works in a numbing nature, right? It wouldn't make you feel more. So if Molly or ecstasy aren't opiates, right? So opiates are like Percocets and shit like that, right? They're supposed to be a sedative effect. So, I mean, if she was taking opiates, it would be because she was trying to numb pain. But this message here says she wants to feel shit. Okay, let's wait for the next tweet to figure this out. Estavo says, weren't you afraid that Mr. Combs was only seeing you for sex in this way? This was a concern. You were not in public in your relationship with him, right? She says correct. Estavo says, were freak-offs important? She says integral. Yo, Cassie's gonna cry when they basically paint the picture to her that she, like for years, she was fooled thinking she was gonna be his next wife and also be his baby mama when all she was a sneaky link. Trust me, that will tear a woman's soul apart. Yo, you ever call a chick a side? I love trolling girls like this. They be telling me about they dude. They be like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, yo, I hate to break it to you. You that nigga side chick. You ever tell a girl that? Oh my God. No, I ain't any side chick. Nah, I ain't no side chick. I ain't no Yo, you remember when I called Brittany Renner the side chick? Oh my, yo, a girl can't handle being called a side chick. Even if they are. You a side chick. Trust me. Trust. Anytime. Listen, I'm the worst type, but this is why, first of all, I don't try to have no girls that's just my friends. I'm trying to fuck. So let's not try to be friends like that. Anyway, you come over here and tell me about your man, this and third, your mate, you got all type of problem. I'm going to troll the shit out of you. You're a side chick. When you tell a girl that, her soul explodes. What? No, I ain't no side chick. I ain't no side chick. I ain't no side chick. I was the only girl. He be with me all day. He ain't had no time to be fucking no other bitches. He texts me all day. He talks to me all day. No, you're his side chick. Guarantee he had another bitch. He got another girl. I'm sorry. The prosecutors are eloquently explaining to Cassie, you was never the main. You were a sneaky link. Yeah, he might be territorial over you, but you not his man. You a sneaky link. He wasn't public with you. The most important shit in y'all situation was freak-offs, and he's having other niggas fuck you. You a little sneaky link, man. All right. I mean, side chicks do be winning, but women all have that main character syndrome. Like, no woman wants to admit their side chick to another woman being the main chick. It makes them feel lesser than. But a lot of times, the majority of women are side chicks. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with a side chick. Most great relationships have amazing side chicks. A healthy relationship sometimes, when you get too tired of shorty, the side chick gonna make you gonna have a nice smile on your face, even though she cussing you out, because you know that side chick gonna make sure everything is good. She cuss you on, you ain't shit. Fuck you, bitch ass nigga. That's why I ain't fucking you tonight. This and third. You like, it's all good. I'm getting some pussy in the morning. You just don't know. Shout out to all the side chicks, man. So February 15th is an important day, man. I like that day more than February 14th, man. I love side chick day, bro. It's my day. That's my day, bro. Get activated. That's my day. I really think I got fucked up views on marriage and relationships. I think no successful marriage lasts without a good side chick. That's what I think. You need a good side chick. One who shuts the fuck up, knows her role, never disrespects the main, knows how to be discreet, and also make sure whatever problems you having with your chick, she alleviates and leaves it there. Also, they don't call after 9. Trust. Oh, man, my chat queens don't like that. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Gustavo says, who was at your 21st birthday party in Las Vegas? Ventura says, Britney Spears, Dallas, Austin. Gustavo says, how did you get them there? Well, they came for Sean. Gustavo says, you're very beautiful and charming. Ventura says, thank you. Are they flirting? What in the scissor in heaven is going on on the stand? You're very beautiful and charming. What the fuck? Yo, Gustavo, you better watch your place. Alex Fine and Diddy might be looking at you like, bitch, what you doing up there? The lawyer is giving out compliments? Yo, you bad as fuck. What? Somebody said she is. Well, I did tell y'all that yesterday. I said, I do think she's beautiful. I do think that she probably comes across as charming. And that's what I was saying about how the jury is going to perceive this. Like, the jury might perceive this as this beautiful, charming woman would have never wanted to do some of these things on her own. Somebody had to force her to do it. Somebody had to coerce her to do it. There is going to be bias like that. If you seen a chick come through with a neck tattoo, a tattoo right here, if it was Christian Rock in that courtroom, you'd probably be like, the way how she talks, she got a missing tooth. You seen her fucking tonsil, like, she looked like she got hot breath. Like, you probably like, nah, nigga, I don't believe this shit. You wanted to do that shit. That's what I'm saying. It does help that Cassie comes across as these positive things. Trini said, I need a wife who could cook something and stop eating body pollutants. Trini, what could you cook? Your name is Trini, so I don't know if you're from Trinidad. I do need a Trinidad. Hey, what could you cook, man? Let me know. Let's see. Let's keep it going. Yeah, why did this come out, though? You're very beautiful and charming. Chat, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm telling you, beauty does affect people. When I heard about it, with all due respect, again, I'm not trying to throw this person under the bus, because she had hit me recently. She said, Ak, why you doing this to me? I got kids. And I'm like, because I brought up her hoe stories. When I heard Drea was a hoe, I was like, nah, Drea too bad to be a hoe. No way. And that's why when she said I deleted my wholeness, I would never, under normal circumstances, agree that wholeness could be deleted. But for Drea, I seen Drea in person, drop dead gorgeous. I deleted her shit too. She deleted it, and I cleared the recycle bin. It was gone. Yes, I'm sorry. I got to be honest. Yes, beauty does make people look at you like it's beauty is a sign of pureness. Femininity, being charming, that makes people like, no, this person could never do those things, whether it's crimes or whatever. It's true. It does affect how people look at you. It's the reason why people go to court, no matter the biggest gangsters in the world, and they want to look very docile, because the appearance is very important. Play the Cassie official girl music video. I don't know if I could play the sounds from it. Let's see, Cassie official girl. Let's see. Okay, you gotta give me a timestamp, girl. Or dude, whoever who's sent that. Am I supposed to see something? Oh, this is that Bugatti that Wayne had. Whatever happened to the Bugattis? What am I looking for here? Let me look in the comments. Somebody said Diddy never wanted her to have a career. Okay, let's try to get the next tweet. Estavo says, who's Tommy Mottola? Ventura says, a well-known producer. Estavo says, were you an up-and-coming star? She says, I guess you could say that. Estavo says, after you signed with Bad Boys, were things still platonic? She says, yes. Estavo says, did you have a rough performance? She says, 106 in Park. It didn't go that well for me. Let's see. Cassie, 106 and Park performance. Let's look at it. Oh, this was a performance, right? Was it the first one? Okay, this was it, right?
Hop up clean about it, a phantom. The people go.
Okay. And then Cassie comes on.
You know my name. Thoughts of me.
Look at this nigga Diddy, man. Dancing like a motherfucker. The diddler, bro. I forgot that Diddy was one of the only, like, moguls, like, dancing. He was always, like, moving and grooving. Like, you know, he had some moves still.
We proceed. Now, live on stage.
They claim that he was unhappy with his performance, but I don't know where he said it. Maybe, let me see. Maybe, let me see. No, it's supposed to be 106 in Park. Maybe it was this?
Right.
Right, where y'all going tonight?
I don't know yet.
See, I had to ask, guys. What's
Everywhere. Just describe how the last couple of years have been for you. It's just been fun. It's a good time, and I went last summer, about a year ago, I went and shot Step Up 2, which was great. Came out this year, and been working on my album, sophomore album.
Donnie, you been
That shit never seen the light of day, nigga. She did 500 more Freakoffs and never seen that album. Yeah, she was just working on. She called that shit busy work. All right. Cool. All right. 106 in Park didn't go well for me. How did he help you after that? We did a YouTube video. He said, everybody make mistakes. He said, what was wrong? I couldn't hear myself. What YouTube video is that? Is it this?
You've been waiting so long, I'm here to answer your call.
Ladies and gentlemen.
If nobody, you don't got no real friends, if you do a performance like this and they don't whisper to you, bitch, you don't got no goddamn talent. He only having you around for the Freakoffs. This was grand opening, grand closing. I think Diddy at this point, you know Diddy's hard on, nigga, look how that nigga was on Making a Band. If she was still around, you know it was only for sexual purposes.
Waiting so long, I'm here to answer your call.
Ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for the princess of next selection. Make some noise. Cassie, come on.
Damn. Diddy, Cassie, everyone makes mistakes. 106 Park. Can we find that video? Let's try to find that YouTube video. She claims they uploaded a video to YouTube explaining the performance. Probably ain't gonna find it. It would have to be 10 years or more, huh? Wow, there's so much fucking coverage of this shit. Did a YouTube video. He said everyone makes mistakes. What was wrong? I couldn't hear myself. Estavo says, you were dating Mr. Leslie. We just saw Ryan Leslie, by the way. How much older than you was he? 10 years. Then you traveled to Miami with Mr. Combs. The flyer of the event was just a cover. But you went to spend time with Mr. Combs, right? That's true. Now, if you don't know the story, chat, Diddy finessed this woman away from Ryan Leslie by making up a fake event in Miami that required her to go with him. But Ryan Leslie wasn't either allowed to come or he couldn't come. Diddy went to Miami, spent time with her, and then fucked the dog shit out of her. And then she dipped on Ryan Leslie. Estavo says, you had a tattoo of Mr. Leslie's initials on your body, right? Ventura says, yes. He says, how many tattoos did you have then? AUSA says relevance. Judge says overruled, but let's keep it moving. She said 3. Estavo says the one on your arm. And the answer was no regrets. I didn't know she had Ryan Leslie's name tatted. We could, let's see. Diddy, fake event, Cassie, Miami. I don't know if you ever heard the story. Oh, man, everybody's covering this lastly. It's actually in Tiffany read Rolling Stone's article, I think. Can I read the whole thing? Oh, they want me to subscribe. There's actually a story about how Diddy got her. How Diddy stole Cassie, Ryan, Leslie. Here we go. Sorry.
Hey, you know where it's Diddy is to this club and he meets this girl named Cassie. As soon as he see her, he go, yeah, my boy Ryan. Cassie will have more opportunities. Diddy goes, so Ryan in the studio, man, you gonna pick up. He says that Ryan will not be all to himself.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Diddy definitely a cold one, bro. Diddy's a cold nigga.
Artemis said the love triangle between you, Diddy, and Cassie ruined your momentum. Do you think that?
Did it ruin my momentum? Well, I mean, in terms of what?
Just music.
Just in music.
Yeah, the music industry.
No, I think it actually was great for my momentum. I mean, some of the best songs that I ever wrote had to do with that breakup. You know, so whether it's people's favorite songs like Out of the Blue or any of the records that are on that second album or even Diamond Girl, a lot of those songs. I mean, really, the story behind Diamond Girl was we were working on Cassie's second album in LA, and because of whatever was going on personally in her life, she didn't show up at the studio that day. I had that beat ready to go. She didn't show up at the studio. I recorded Diamond Girl. So I think that from a music standpoint, the greatest music is always born out of whatever you're going through.
Mary J. Blige, Tony Braxton.
You were the guy behind her success. Him getting in the middle of that and being with her, kind of distance y'all.
Once again, I say, look, your life is the aggregate of the choices you make. And so, listen, I think that the fans sometimes being sort of just an audience, they're spectators, and they have an idea of how
you have now entered the dusty section.
Buck went to Chicago. His main.
You have now entered the dusty section.
Here, and someone who gave me an opportunity. When a story or a narrative is not for me, and once it was no longer for me, then there were other narratives and stories for me to invest my time, energy, and resources into. So from even me being in Harvard, that's actually how I met.
Yeah, she also she wrote that. She wrote in the lawsuit that's what happened though. She did. Anyway, let's keep it going. I didn't know she had a tattoo of Ryan Leslie on her body, though. Estavo says, Mr. Combs taught you how to do oral sex? See, by the way, this is why you need a female defense attorney. A dude asking this would probably come off creepy. She's pregnant. Her husband's in a room. She's already uncomfortable talking about some of these things. You got to have a woman ask this, right? So they're saying Mr. Combs taught you how to give head, right? She says he did. Says, look at this. Tell me when you're ready. Could you read it? Ventura says, you can read it. It's making me laugh. It's from 2007. Estavo says, you wrote, I feel protected. You are sweet. There's another thing. Be like, yo, you wrote, I see Carrie is a better fitting for you. I'm hurt you think I'm malicious. You're very important to me. X. Cass. Ventura laugh. Estavo says, what were you trying to convey? And she says, it was like a journal entry. I'm going to be honest with you. What they're laying out here, and they're doing it very slow and very meticulous, but it's probably effective. And remember, one thing with jurors is that whatever we hear last is going to be stuck in our minds, or not in our minds because I'm not a jury, but for jurors, they've ran studies, they've admitted that what they hear last gets stuck in their minds. So for a long trial, you don't want to just front load it with the important stuff. You want to backload it because this is why they have opening and closing statements, right? So now we heard this idea where Cassie was kind of almost admitting or saying like, yeah, he kind of groomed me. Like he groomed me for freak-offs. Now, granted, I hate the word groom just because it's a grown-ass woman. But still, they're kind of like deconstructing that. They're like, whoa. You wanted to do these things. Like, it feels like you wanted to do these things to be with him rather than he was trying to make you do everything else. I'm going to have a sidebar real quick. Real quick sidebar because we are waiting for some more tweets. But I see my man Bradford Cohen. This is one of my good friends and somebody who I do like to give breakdown. He gave a quick update just now on Tory Lanez. I wanted to hear what he thought about the new update about Tory Lanez and Kelsey and the driver of Kelsey saying that Kelsey had confessed.
Let's talk Tory Lanez. He was stabbed several times, I think 14 times around his head, neck, abdomen. This shows a real lack of security on the behalf of the prison, not to mention the lack of supervision. Amazing stuff that goes on in these prisons, and a lot of people don't actually pay attention to what goes on in prisons because they figure out they're prisoners, so whatever goes on, goes on. When it is a high-profile individual like this is the prison's worst nightmare because everyone will start examining the prison, especially in California, where Gavin Newsom does little to nothing about the prison system, although he talks a good game. Nothing ever happens. His legal team, Tory's legal team, is going to be filing some motions with the court to try to commute his sentence, and I think they are also pleading to Gavin Newsom, which will fall on deaf ears, to commute his sentence, release him early because of this incident. I don't think they'll have a good shot at that, but they may have a good shot at a new trial. I know there's some new evidence that came out, and that's going to be really interesting. So we'll see how the new evidence affects whether or not Tory Lanez gets a new trial.
Okay, so the reason why, maybe it's a bias of mine, number one, he's a really good attorney. A lot of times when I give my opinion, his opinion usually is close by. So he agrees. The Gavin Newsom angle of a pardon is not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen. And that's what the press conference was for. There is 2 appeals in. One of the appeals is for writ of habeas corpus, which they haven't included this new information. But there's another appeal that is for a new trial. And hopefully this new evidence could spur a new trial. I still think it's not that great of a shot, but it increases the current. I have it at 30% on both the writ and the appeal for a new trial. Maybe this will help the appeal for the new trial get to like a 40-45%. Again, if he gets granted a new trial, I don't think he'll get prosecuted again. So I think he'll be free. But will he get a new trial? Again, I don't know if this evidence is so damning. Granted, somebody claimed they heard a confession. But unless you have a recording of it, it's hearsay. And while it might be strong hearsay, it's still hearsay, right? All right, I just only went there to hear what he had to say about Tory. So we're gonna get back to the Cassie conversation, and here we are. Estavo says, you discussed Carrie Morgan. Do you think Combs was attracted to her? Now, okay, so remember Carrie Morgan is another woman, Carrie Morgan and Cassie in 2004. So that was supposedly Cassie's friend. It was this woman, looked like she was a blonde woman that they were friends with. She was friends with. This is them together here, right? Now, this makes sense when we go back to the last tweet, when it says, look at this, tell me when you're ready, can you read it? She said, you can read it, it's making me laugh. It says, you wrote, I feel protected, you're sweet. And then you said, you wrote that, I see that Carrie is better fitting for you. I'm hurt, you think I'm malicious, you're very important to me. She claims it was a journal entry, but I think what the prosecutors are saying is that possibly Cassie wanted Diddy so bad, and I'm making a leap here. Maybe she offered up her best friend for maybe a threesome or a freak-off to try to get Diddy to fuck with her more. Women will do that. Like, not necessarily their friend, but, oh, they're doing a threesome to get you to love them more, right? So she's messaging him saying, I think Carrie, like, maybe she's joking or trolling, or maybe something happened or they were around each other, maybe not even a sexual sense. And she probably seen Diddy flirting with her, and it was like, and she's kind of like, yo, I think maybe Carrie's a better fit for you, right? And it's like, I'm hurt you think I'm malicious. Maybe it was a conversation they were having and Diddy keeps laughing. You know, women, one thing I've learned as a man in my 30 years on earth, and I'm 30 today, chat. Not today, well, 2 days, but I'm 30. One thing I've learned is that when your girl bring her girlfriends around, don't be too friendly. Same with women. Women, like, when we bring around our niggas, wait, hold on, that nigga ain't that funny. Why you laughing at that joke so much? Keep it light. So maybe Diddy was engaging with Carrie a little bit too much. That's her friend. And she kind of writes to Diddy, yo, Carrie might be a better fit for you, right? And maybe they were talking about something, and she was like, I'm hurt you think I'm malicious. You're very important to me, right? They're asking her, what were you trying to convey? And she says, it's kind of like a journal entry. Then it continues by saying, you discussed Carrie Morgan. Do you think Combs was attracted to her? She says, and she's affirming what I just pretty much assumed, there was a point in the very beginning. Estavo says, did that complication carry on in your relationship? Ventura says, no, not really. Carrie was just always with us. Interesting. Yeah, this is Carrie. This is Cassie. Okay, little blonde girl. By the way, thank you for whoever this is putting the picture rather than me having to go find it. Okay. Then, Estavo says, I'd like to start asking about freak-offs. Sometimes you wore a wig and a mask, right? She said yes. Estavo says, the general public did not know. AUSA Johnson says, objection. The judge says, rephrase. He says, no one knew until 2023 in the public. She says yes. Let's see where they're going with this. Things are heating up, chat. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to go like in an hour or so. Oh, my God. Nah, today's the day. Today is the day, chat. Someone said, Ak is doing the loose cannon. Yo, why y'all keep saying I'm almost 40? Stop it, man. When I turn 40, I'm a bang 40 hard, okay? But, nah, we banging 30 right now. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, we're just waiting for another. Did Cassie ever talk about Carrie Morgan? Cassie Carrie Morgan. Here we go. Oh, here we go.
I had done multiple interviews. As I should.
Hitting you with the force and the power that you have. He didn't hit her back like, and granted, you know what I'm saying? When I was a younger guy, 17, 18, and got hit, yeah, you might hit back.
watching that video.
They broke up in 2018. So if you look at the situation of this girl leaving and what happened to her,
yeah,
he deserved whatever comes to him.
By the way, you know what I was shocked about? And I just seen it in the, recommended after I'm watching this video. Apparently, like, they never got into Diddy, number one, having so much. If you're going to try to say sex trafficking and you want to prove that she's helpless and she couldn't do anything and Diddy had all the control, I mean, they didn't really all the way accentuate the idea that she goes to the hospital, she gets treated for injury. They don't even give her the medical report. They give Diddy first. That's how much power and control he had. Diddy had her get breast implants. Day after she gets breast implants, Diddy literally says, take him out before she even heals because he didn't like how they looked. The decision was solely his, not hers. I'm surprised that the prosecutor didn't get into that. Like, that shows power, right? Like, if you're trying to say someone has this fully autonomous power over someone else, if you're like, get under the knife to get breast implants to make me like you more. She gets the breast implants, you come in, you see it, say, nah, take him out now. And it's not even her decision. That would be very important. They didn't touch on that during the direct. Kind of shocked.
For that. And this was 2016. They broke up in 2018.
Right.
That's his first thing. It's been times where people got beat up in front of the studio, and he's gonna get that footage from the studio building. He got a studio in there, but he doesn't own the building.
Yeah.
So in order to get that footage, you gotta have connections with the owner of the building. Anything that happens that's wrong, you're gonna reach out there and try to get that footage. So when they said that he got the footage, I believe in the lawsuit, she said, but what he didn't know was that,
Here we go.
like, okay, you could at least let me know you was going to use my name or something like that. So she has a friend named Kerry Morgan.
There we go.
And I reached out to Kerry, like, yo, tell Cassie to get at me. And even Kerry hit me back and said, Bonds, I haven't spoken to Cassie since 2018. And I said, you haven't spoken to Cassie since 2018? She said, no, not ever since Diddy went upside my head with a hanger and gave me a concussion. And I said, Diddy did what? She said, yeah, in 2018, he threw a wooden hanger at me and Cassie didn't have my back. And I haven't spoken to her since then. So when I read the...
Interesting. Okay. So that's the story of Kerry Morgan. Her friendship with Cassie ended ever since there was a hanger thrown at Cassie, at Kerry Morgan, and it hit her. And I guess she's like, yo, what the fuck? And Cassie didn't check Diddy, like, yo, what are you doing? That's my best friend. Like, why you trying to hurt her? Now, granted, you could probably say Cassie was scared of Diddy herself. Interesting. All right, we're still waiting for the next tweet. We probably got about like 30 minutes before they break for lunch. I really think this is the tip of the iceberg. I don't believe we're going to get into even half of the complete cross today. I think this is all laying the foundation. And I think this entire day going to be laying the foundation. We're going to hear some shit, but it's laying the foundation. I think tomorrow they're going to come, and I hate to use the word, but they're going to come in cream pie, okay? I hate to use that term, but you could tell this is very slow, but they're making it all be known. Now, I'm wondering why would they bring up Kerry Morgan here? I'm wondering why. Well, it appears that they would, though, because they said, I guess they were, you know what they're trying to do? They're also downplaying that Diddy, they're downplaying it like, yeah, they were in a relationship, but Diddy really, the relationship was sex. Diddy liked her friend in the beginning. I don't know. Like, I'm wondering why the Kerry Morgan thing is, I don't know if they're trying to downplay it to make her look lesser important, or maybe she thought it was something it wasn't. I don't know. Okay. Stavo then says, fair to say his career was ruined after your lawsuit. And I guess they're talking about Diddy. She said, I could understand that. Stavos says, let's read these messages. Mr. Combs wrote, when are you on your period? She says, no, now. Estavo says, what you be thinking about when you horny? Now, this is gonna, maybe they're trying to recount this idea that she testified on direct about her being forced to do freakoffs while on her menstrual cycle. Remember, she said there was no exception where she would be absent to the freakoff for shit, whether it's a UTI, a menstrual cycle, or anything else, or even like sometimes feeling under the weather. She had to perform at the freakoffs no matter what state she was in. Very interesting, chat. Very interesting. Oh boy. She was a saucy little spice bucket. What are you talking about? Yeah, they're flirting via messages. Diddy and her flirting via messages, chat. Estavo says, Ms. Ventura, if you don't want to read the answers, I can read them. So it looked like, this is important. It looks like Cassie's slowing up on reading certain things because they want to do almost a role play. I'm reading for Diddy, you read for Cassie. You read for you, she's Cassie, right? I read for Sean, you read for yourself. We're reading old messages. By the way, Cassie did this with no problem when the AUSA did it with her. Remember? She did it with no problem. Now when Diddy's lawyers are trying to do the same with her, she's having a problem. She says, Ventura says, thank you. So I guess she's saying they could read them. He says, okay. He says, the O has a lot of O's after them, right? She says, yes. He said, after Freakoff, you'd make love with Mr. Combs, right? She says, yes. So apparently after the Freakoff, she would have this one-on-one sexual experience with Diddy, and maybe that was what she was talking about, spending time with him. I wonder how she felt making love to a nigga that you rub semen on his nipples. The nigga has semen crust on his fucking nipples. Huh? Whatever. Love is a powerful thing, man. It makes you ignore a lot of bullshit, bro. I mean, that's about Kerry Morgan. By the way, this is this other thing right here.
It was basically inside a club. Yes.
Describe that whole situation. 2009, she shaves the side of her head. You were there when it happened.
Yes.
Describe that whole situation.
It was basically inside a club, and it was a lady standing up over, and I kept seeing Puff looking up, and I'm saying to myself, what is he looking at? What is he looking at? And then I think he had somebody, one of his assistants, say something to the lady. And then he told Cassie, yo, you gonna get that haircut right there. You gonna get that. And Cassie was just like, okay, pop, pop. You know what I'm saying? She used to call Puff Pop Pop.
This shit's kind of accurate, chat. This shit's kind of accurate, huh?
And she said, okay, and next thing you know, the next day...
Chat, okay, Pop Pop. Shaved head. Pop Pop chain.
If I'm not mistaken, his personal barber, Curtis, was the one that cut her hair for that first time.
Okay, and she wasn't against it. It wasn't forced or anything else like that, right?
I don't know what happened in private, if she was rebuking it or not, but I know that next day she got that haircut.
Well, and I remember during that time, it became a trend. You would go to the mall and see black girls, white girls, all with the side of their head shaved, and yeah, she became a trendsetter.
It became such a big thing that nobody ever looked at it as controlling. We looked at it as a brilliant marketing move.
Yeah. Okay, well, that same year, Cassie got breast implants.
Yes.
And originally, she got D cups.
Right.
Which, with a girl that small, I mean, I've met Cassie before.
Right.
You know, I didn't know her, but I've ran into her. I've had brief conversations with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's a relatively small girl. D cups on a girl that size is a little bit silly.
Right.
But who ultimately she did decide to get the D cups. When she got home, Puffy was upset.
Right, and she had to go back and get C cups.
Okay.
I remember that specifically because she had to wear things where she couldn't pick up stuff. So I used to have to help her out the car and pick up her bags and things like that because she was wrapped up.
Okay, but when he told her go back and get them redone, was she upset?
I didn't know. I didn't know if not because my job was just, she just went back. I didn't have that conversation of whether she was upset.
How long after the first breast job did she go back and get the second?
If I wanna, don't hold me to it. It was so long ago for lab, but I would say a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you niggas said pop in 5. Mr. Turner, thank you for the 5. It says, nah, I love my wife. We ain't doing no shit like that. That's two people with similar kinks. Okay. Why Kenny, thank you for the 2. Said, Act, my birthday the 17th, man. Throw a party. I'm throwing a party today. We're not really a party. Just a live pod. Rainbow says, happy birthday, Big Act. I love you. Love you, girl. Brit Hart says, yo, happy birthday. Am I officially Unk? He says I'm Unk. Okay. Ron J77 says, Act, I'm posting a link to the video of Diddy chastising Cassie in the chat here. Let me see. Can I look at this donation? Let me look at the replies. How do I look at the comments on the donation? Tree. Thank you for the new membership. Opiates numb the pain. Molly's a stimulant. Makes you feel more. 3 Dickless. What up, bro? She needs to feel the feeling of not feeling. Okay. Somebody said these motherfuckers was fucking 24/7, man. Louisiana Slick says, hey, happy Act Day. Act on a dead homie, cuh. So they said, so yes, Jules was in the for Freakoffs too? No. There's a Daniel Phillips, his porn name or his escort name was Jules. He was the guy who was a very regular Freakoff dick donator. Okay? Shout out to you guys. Maconia, he says, I love you, Ack. Game Story, thank you for the 5. It says he had to sign a deal, married her. All his staff jobs is always on the line if they didn't do what he said. So the power dynamic itself is bad. That's what the prosecutor's trying to prove. Tanya Vicente, thank you for the 10 Canadian. She says it could start by playing a game that it could turn illegal. When you don't let her leave the Freakoff and beat her, extort her if she tries to leave you by releasing videos. Yeah, like if they definitely have proof of, like, say, text message where he says, I'm leaking this if you leave, that might show that there was some threats of violence or some blackmail happening. D. Bacon says, happy birthday. I just turned 30. Oh, happy birthday to you. Are you a Taurus? Thando, thank you for becoming a member. Reno, what's up with you, girl? Kendrick's intern. By the way, I feel like we have a bunch of more chat queens. I kid you not. I love you, girls. Kendrick intern says, happy Crip Day, Ack. Somebody says, happy P Day, Ack. Don't get diddled. Force Calibration says, Ack, you should be a real professional interpreter. Thank you all. All right. By the way, Coco Antoinette says, Ack, have you seen Jonathan's Odie's new jail? Oh, my God. He did do an interview? He was supposed to do one with me. Now I'm tight. He did a new one? Jonathan Odie interview. Yeah. He had people reaching out trying to do one. New. Is there a new one? Where's the new one? Send me a link if you see the new one. But I think he was trying to do one with a blogger or something. Manny17, thank you for the 5. You didn't have a message with that. And why? Okay, we read the rest. I'll go over to the Academy page and read those in a little bit. But let's get back to some of the updates. Okay, here we go. So this is confirmation that after the Freakoffs, she would make love to Combs, and maybe that was her reasoning to do it because she wanted that one-on-one time with him, right? Combs then says, your period. Mr. Combs is asking when you're on it, right? She says, yep. He's asking in the context when to meet up and have sex. She says, looks like it. Estavo says, sometimes you would watch him with a female. She says 2 or 3 times. So she's downplaying that, acting like, because we keep hearing about the Freakoffs where he is watching her getting fucked. We don't hear about Freakoffs, and the government has never mentioned a Freakoff where she watches him with another female. Actually, we've never even known until now there were Freakoffs with other females. Now, this is going to contextualize the Freakoff and contextualize what Cassie was into. Diddy, I still think he's gay, because if you're having semen rubbed on you, you're gay. But he was a voyeur. Like, he was into voyeurism. It appears that she was either into it or tolerated it because she was into it as well. She wanted to watch him fuck, or let's not say wanted to. She did. She watched him fuck other females, okay? So she said 2 to 3 times. So she's downplaying it. Remember, she said she did Freakoffs hundreds of times, which we have to now assume most of them are men. Estavo says, did you ever talk with Mr. Combs about the swinger lifestyle? Ventura says, yeah, that no one talks about it. I guess that was their conversation, that nobody talks about being a swinger. Estavo says, were you keeping Freakoff secret from your friends? She said, yes. Estavo says, his assistants help him? She says, with everything. Estavo then says, you would remember if an assistant came in during one of the sessions with an escort, right? She says, not necessarily. I was high. Estavo says, so you don't remember much then? So you don't, right? She said, I had my privacy invaded a lot during that relationship. Okay. All right. This lawyer is getting Cassie a little bit defensive and a little bit, she's admitting a few things. What I believe her current line of questions is proven is that we all know the diddler is a freaky frog, a freaky ass nigga. But it appears that Cassie was equally probably as freaky as well. And at least initially, her being freaky or her indulging in some of the freaky behavior was not only either her idea, but she was loving it initially, loving it, even though she would have these conversations about, I can't wait till we have kids. Okay? Rondo 23, thank you for the 2. It says, happy birthday, Ack. Been watching since 2014 when I was 16. I appreciate you, my boy. Amka says, happy birthday, Ack. Been a chat queen since 2017. Damn, girl. Thank you for watching all these years. Lucas, thank you for the 5. Says, happy birthday, Ack. Been watching over 10 years. I appreciate you, brother. Yo, chat, this is how long we've been going. You know how many people have been watching for over 10 years? Thank you guys so much. Honestly, that definitely warms my heart. It shows, number one, hopefully I'm doing a good job of providing you with the entertainment and information that you need to get through your day or however else. But also, this shows your loyalty. You guys have been rocking me for 10 years. You're not a fly-by-night supporter. You guys could have went on to other stuff. You guys still come here, check in, still fuck with me. You've seen me grow, and you see probably the best of me, the worst of me. I appreciate you guys so much, all right? Yo, Jess is over here age checking a nigga. Yo, Ack, man. Jess. Yo, Jess, how you gonna let everybody else lie about their age but not me? Why can't I say I'm 30? Everybody else lying? How? I don't even want to give up some of y'all favorite celebrity secret. How old y'all think so is? I want to snitch. And I'm joking, bro. I don't give a fuck. Like, bro, like if y'all been watching me 10 years, I'm growing with y'all. Like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? I'm not a rapper. I think it matters more for rappers. Sig Hot. He says, Ack, I left the Discord and I drive trucks, so I'm bored now from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So keep me laughing. Thank you, brother. He also says, yo, Diddy is cooking this hoe. Astro Boy says, Ack, man, you 33, man. Stop playing, bro. Maurice says, yo, it's lit. See you tonight. Oh, damn. I can't wait to see you, Maurice. Make sure you shout out that you're Maurice from the chat. Big Papa Zoe says, Ack, let's be honest. Whether Diddy, the diddler, is found not guilty or not, his career is still done. The abuse moments that had her fear for her life. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe he's done if he gets found not guilty. I think if he gets found not guilty, I think this is going to be a severe turn on this entire Me Too movement. This is the worst and the biggest trumped up accusations we've ever seen. There was 100+ accusations, and if Diddy beats this on a federal trial, even if he loses some of these civil cases, I think that this is going to be, these bitches be lying. We're going to see a strict narrative from all rappers. They're going to say, Diddy freaky. Now, I don't think people are going to be friends with Diddy like that. I don't think he's going to have that power like he used to have anymore. But I think what people are going to say is going to be a huge turn. And I think even now, when women come out, like even the DDG shit, people are like, oh my God, here it goes again. Like, we're getting fatigued with it's accusation after accusation, and it's one black successful guy getting accused to another and another and another. If Diddy beats this, I think the narrative is going to go to the opposite end, where it's going to be like, man, these bitches be lying, bro. These bitches be lying, bro. And I think it's going to hurt actual victims, but it's gonna put such a bad taste, no pun intended, in the mouths of people who, just off of the abuse footage, right? Like, yes, he beat her ass. We thought he was sex trafficking, and she described that it was sex trafficking. If he beats it, I think people are gonna think differently. All right. Somebody says, "Yo, Ak, was Drake talking about Cassie and lasers?" I gotta go back and listen again. All right. Ak says, PT Bullet Boy Gaming says, Ak, don't forget to tell Drill to wear a name tag tonight. The chat niggas want to see him about something. Wait, what y'all want to see Drill about? Jordan M. Thank you for the 5 Canadian. He says, blessed Earthstrong Unk, you don't even look 40. Yo, y'all want me to go in the Unk era so bad. Y'all want to say I'm 40 now? I think I'm the only top media personality, I think, under 30. Let me keep that for a bit. When I get to the 40s, they'll be 50. So I'll take that. I'll be the only one in the 40s. So let me do that. Let me just keep that for a bit. It's all good, though. We all age. You know, I plan to do this till I'm 70. So when I'm going on a rant at 70 and y'all like, yo, Unk, your dentures fell out. Not even Unk, Gramps, your dentures fell out. And hopefully I could have my Bronny James be like, yo, all right, Unk just fell asleep. He off that prune juice. Okay, you know, he can't handle the alcohol no more. And my son just chop it up on some YN shit over here. That's how I want to give it up. I'm enjoying life. So I'm not, for the people who think that I'm scared of aging, no, I'm not. Like, I'm very happy I've been here with you guys for decades now. So, yeah, just make sure when I'm 70 and I'm giving it up just like this, right? Y'all just make sure y'all be like, yo, Gramps, you drooling. You the drool is falling on your shirt. Just wipe it, okay? You know what I mean? And if I ever, I don't know if it's age, I don't take them little drugs or whatever. I only drink alcohol. But if y'all ever see that white froth by my mouth, don't clown. Y'all got to be like, yo, Gramps, you like 64 now. You got a little froth. Just clean that out real quick before you tell us the next point. It's distracting us. Just tell me that, chat. But I do plan to do this. I'm not like, I always told Adam. Adam was like, yeah, I remember interviewing Adam. He was like, yeah, I'm planning for retirement. I'm like, nigga, I'm never retiring. What the fuck is niggas talking about? Nigga, I'm going to do this till my last day. I love doing this. This is therapeutic. Y'all my only friends. This is why I'm celebrating my birthday with y'all today. All right, cool. Westside Woo says, Ak, I think the next key witness will be the white boy that got arrested for the drug mule. Good assumption. We don't know if he's going to be a witness. Here's the thing, though. I don't think it's going to be him. I think they're going to bring Jane Doe in now. I think once you start with the witnesses, you might want to keep with the witnesses. So Cassie's a main witness. Jane Doe is one, too. Even though maybe they'll space them out. But, you know, if we're getting the tears and we're getting these testimonies of how horrible it was, maybe there's strategies to bunch it together that it could seem like, damn, one victim after another. The drug mule guy could come in later. That's like half a day. You don't need him to say much. And then, yeah, I don't know. I could be right or you could be right. Let's see, though. The Freakoff froth. Estavo says, this is from July 2012. You say to Mr. Combs, I'm horny and bored. This was after a Freakoff, right? She says, there's a lot of text here. Said to be 25 pages. AUSA Johnson says, I would ask that the witness be allowed to read the entire document. Judge says how many pages? Estavo says 8. AUSA says we don't have a copy for the witness. Estavo says we'll show it on the screen, but not in the public gallery. Okay. I see somebody on here. There's a few people who are like commenting live. They're like, her saying she don't remember much, but yesterday she was dropping a lot of information about the Freakoff. That doesn't look good. Yeah, I think we're realizing Cassie is backpedaling a little bit. She's a little bit on her heels. She's saying she doesn't remember certain things. Obviously, what I personally believe, I don't think she's doing this purposely. I think she was prepped by the AUSAs for what they were going to ask. So she seemed confident. She seemed aware. She seemed to know what she should say or her answers. She probably went over it. She rehearsed with her husband and probably the prosecutors. Like, that's a rehearsed thing. There's no like, oh, okay, we're not going to show you the questions. We'll see you in court. No, you're the lead witness for the prosecution. You're one of the reasons they brought the case. They probably went over it with you. Like, again, and they asked you pretty much the same shit they've asked you before when you got prepped. So she was more confident yesterday. Now she doesn't know what to expect. They probably prepped her for today, but remember, they're bringing shit that wasn't entered into evidence, right? So that's why she's kind of looking a little shaky. So maybe something she really don't remember, but also she doesn't really know how to answer to certain stuff, right? Okay. All right. Somebody says Diddy won this. I am Mo. Hey, by the way, shout out to my boy DDG. I think DDG should take this right now. At this moment, DDG should look at what's happening with this case and seesaw communication with what's her name? Halle Bailey. And, you know, obviously that relationship done. But trust me, you never want Halle Bailey up on a stand saying shit like this. You feel me? She gonna say all type of bullshit. Obviously, hopefully not, and obviously probably not no sex trafficking shit. But you know, that Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp thing was a really good blueprint of when you listen to the testimony of a woman, especially on direct, right? It's when the tears come out, when she starts talking about her trauma and what she's been through. Even men, we sympathize. Like, if a man sees another man crying, it's whatever. A man sees a woman crying, you're inclined to try to help. So it does affect people. But even if we go back to the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial, it was the cross-examination that really dropped 45 on her. You know what I mean? So Diddy's lawyers are trying to do the same on cross-examination. And again, Cassie is, remember I told you, they're trying to break her down, but they're not trying to be aggressive with it. They're trying to break her down in a very subtle way. Noble Zone, thank you, my boy. Thank you for the 10 cent act. I can't make her show tonight, but I got a ticket. Next time I have a IRL stream for those who can't make the show, but purchase a ticket. Love you and break your leg out there. Hey, by the way, if you bought a ticket and you're not going, try to offer the ticket to someone in the chat then, that they could go. Rather than have an empty seat. I appreciate you buying a ticket, by the way. That's true love and support. That's true love and support right there. Okay. Spencer said, I told you she wasn't talented at all. All right. Interesting, man. Interesting. We are getting to it. We're getting to it. So it looked like she's reading 8 pages of like either messages or something of the sort that's in this exhibit. It looks like yeah, it's a lot of text. So she's reading 8 pages of text messages. All right. Let me see. Did we find the new interview? I don't think we found it.
Not necessarily included Britney Spears and Dallas Austin. She says they came for Sean Combs. The defense calls her beautiful.
Let's see. We're just looking at other sources here to see what's going on. I like to see people coming into the court, out of court. That was them arriving for day 2. Let's see about today. Diddy family arriving today's day 4, actually, right? Yeah, day 4. Here we go.
Good morning. How are you? Good morning, Diddys. How do you feel this morning?
How you guys doing today?
W son. Justin, I see you learned a little bit. Justin trying to make sure his mom gets helped out the car. Or actually, no, this is Diddy's mom, so his grandmother.
Good morning. How do you say? How do you feel this morning? Good morning.
Okay. Let's see what else.
She's doing well. She had a restful night. She's ready for cross-examination, and we're very confident that she's gonna do perfectly. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
She's doing well. She had a restful night. She's ready.
I'm released today after an effort made by my attorneys. I'm extremely thankful to my attorneys, Center for Constitutional Right, ACLU, and my other attorneys.
All right. Okay. All right. So Cassie's still reading stuff. See if we can find some more.
Good morning. How are you? Good morning, Diddys. How do you feel this morning?
How you guys doing today?
Good morning, Diddys. How do you feel this morning? Good morning.
All right. Hopefully they're done, but 8 pages might take a while. Okay. Do we have more messages? They're going to break shortly for lunch. So they ask that the witness read the entire thing. They usually break around 12 o'clock, so it appears that by the time she's done reading it, they might call for lunch, or they might ask her a few questions before they call for lunch. Lorma G says, YouTube and Kick Chats are dead. Rumble Chat is the king. Oh, shit, your Rumble Chat be beefing with everybody. Let me open up Rumble Chat, see what's cracking over there, man. Nah, Rumble giving it up. Brittany Biz says, I'm horny and bored. She says, LOL, and ever gets old. Born Hustle, I see you over there. Somebody said, I feel everyone involved was freaky as fuck. I just don't understand. She's acting like she got R-worded after the first Freakoff. You should have left. Shout out to you, Born Hustler. Quan Bell, I see you. Pro Skill says, Aki on Sawfish. Whoa, Anonymous Star. Come on, y'all making R Block look crazy. He says, we love anal over here. Almighty B says, what up, Ak? Baby Dog says, facts. What's really good? Gabe says, enjoyed tonight. Gino says, put us on the screen. Well, I got to make sure y'all are moderated pretty good, because I put y'all on the screen and y'all start spamming the N-word. I think, well, we're not on Twitch right now, so Twitch would ban for that's the reason they banned Aiden before. They said he allowed like an unmoderated chat. C2 Superb, he said, have a good show. Thank you. Black Astrology, thank you. He says, yep. All right, cool. I'm going to show some love to Kick as well. But yeah, it looked like we're kind of waiting for this to kind of come down. Yeah, she's reading all the text messages, and look like the defense and the prosecutors are reading the messages, or they're allowing it on the screen, but it's a privacy screen. I'm wondering how that's done in court. That's a question I want to ask. How are they doing the privacy screen? Privacy screen for court. No, that's Courtroom. Let me just say Courtroom. I'm wondering how the hell like they prevent people from the gallery to see the shit. I know the AUSA was like they were making sure it was installed right, but I don't know what this means. Are they like raising something in front of the people? I don't know. Or maybe they're moving some big ass thing and I don't know. Interesting.
Day 3 Diddy update. Cassie on the stand. She just finished her direct examination. Even though Cassie and Kid Cudi are not together anymore, and Kid Cudi was like, "Well, what about my vehicle?" Because at this point,
yo, what happened to? Why has Kid Cudi not said nothing, man? Kid Cudi asked him, yo, but what about my vehicle? What vehicle, nigga? Oh, he posted a story. Check out my first ever performance. Nigga, we ain't trying to see no performance, nigga. We trying to see if you got your vehicle back, nigga. Kid Cudi, we don't want to see a performance now. We want to see, you should have Instagram a new vehicle.
Hey, happy Mother's Day to all those awesome moms out there, man. I got a specific list.
Yo, you know what's so crazy about this whole thing, chat? They said Kid Cudi and Diddy were beefing over Cassie. Two niggas we think are gay are beefing over a woman. They're not even beefing over dick. Now, supposedly Kid Cudi ain't gay. Or is he gay? I don't know.
Of moms that I want to shout out right now. First, number 1.
Myron said call him. Oh shit, let me try to call him. Myron said call him? I'm calling off my other number.
Hi, Willie.
No. Fuck. I gotta call him from the number I got. They must have went to Okay, we got some more tweets. Estevo says, you said Mr. Combs often put you down, but he also sent you encouragement and called you a queen, right? She said, yes, there's a sidebar. Estevo says, what would trigger Mr. Combs to incessantly call you? And that means phone calls, right? And they said, anger and doubt where I was. Estevo says, if he suspected you of cheating, he'd call you incessantly. She said that was one of the reasons. Because he thought, and then there was an objection. That was sustained.
So the Diddy and Cassie situation has been getting freakier and freakier by the day. The more and more I hear about these allegations, Diddy is a freaky man, the king of the freak-offs. And Cassie, you feel me, she was young, vulnerable. But like what Ak said, she could have left. Like, Diddy was not holding her well. You know, this is what's hard for me. Allegedly, Diddy wasn't holding her hostage, but she said on the video that came out in the hotel where he hit her over and drug her back, she was trying to leave one of the freak-offs. And Diddy said, oh no, you're not going to leave the freak-offs. You got it. Yeah. Wait till the dude, bust a nut, allegedly. Then all over you, then scrape it off, go in the other room and rub it on my nipples. That's what he wanted. It sounds so crazy to say, but that's what Diddy wanted. Like, we seen him in the robe. I thought he was just fresh out the shower, but allegedly he was probably butt naked. I'm surprised there was no baby oil on her or him, or she wiped it off. That's why he was so mad. It was no baby oil on. Hey, man. I genuinely feel bad for Cassie. I feel bad for her husband too, because he has to be in court and he's listening to all these things. And I don't really think Cassie's lying about anything. Like, Cassie just seems like a nice girl, probably like gentle, innocent, like, and she just wanted a career. Like, man, I'm struggling here because
I want to be very, very honest about everything, like my point of view. I don't think Diddy was the best of best people, and I think everything he did to Cassie was wrong, and it was definitely manipulative and all that stuff. But like, is it sex trafficking though? Like, this is what he's charged for. Like, domestic violence, yes. Assault, yes. Like, probably a bunch of other crazy stuff, yes. But sex trafficking, bro, I don't know if you could say he was sex trafficking. But it's only day 2 of the trial. And I'm gonna be very, very unbiased about every single thing I say. It's day 2 of the trial. Diddy is he's there every day. They say that he's looking white as hell, he's gray as hell. He's, you feel me? They said he was looking at Cassie the whole time. But day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe 2 weeks later, there might be someone else taking the stand, and we don't know how that's gonna go. Maybe like 3 days later, there's gonna be a new person taking the stand, and they just expose everything about Diddy. Like, we don't know fully everything Diddy's done yet. Like, there might have been men that he was having Freakoffs with. Like, ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, Act was the line about what he said. Diddy should just came out and said that he was a flexible, bro. He should just said he was bisexual, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And what Act said, bro, all these rappers gotta come out who was around Diddy, like really, really hung around Diddy and was like really cool with him. They need to come out and like, yeah, bro. You gotta defend yourself, your integrity. You feel me? But your boy Big Act News. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And do you feel like Diddy's innocent, or do you feel like he's guilty? And we're talking about sex trafficking. Like, we're not talking about is he a good person or not. Do you think he's guilty of sex trafficking, Cassie? It's your boy Big Act News, and I'm out.